Arsenal have suffered another defeat into the Premier League this season in there, as they've been beaten by a side which goes by names of Liverpool in there. Arsenal have suffered their 8th defeat of the season in there. They have 16 wins and 3 draws that has gathered them 51 points this season. Welcome to Rokani Media Football. How are you guys and where are you watching us from? We are here to bring you all as it really has happened, as Liverpool has gone ahead to beat a side which goes by names of Arsenal by 2-0 in there. If at all you never watched this game of football, you might have thought that it was a walkover for a side which goes by the names of Liverpool, but it wasn't at all. Arsenal put up a fight, but as you know, this is what describes what a good team is all about in there. What describes a good team? It's the result in there, and each and every time they get a chance, how do they behave in there? I won't lie to you, Arsenal got chances to really bury Liverpool, but they couldn't finish those chances in there. When Liverpool got theirs and they capitalized on the mistakes made by the Arsenal midfield and defense, guess what happened? They buried that ball into the back of the net. So that's what shows you that to be in the league of the big boys, you have to go ahead and beat the big boys, something that Arsenal has not yet done, because they really got those chances and they really buried them in there. But all in all, the game started up on a very good note, with a side which goes by names of Liverpool getting the first shot on target, corner brought in by Trent Alexander-Arnold, and guess who heads it into the goal of Arsenal, and it was saved by Ramsdale. It was Virgil van Dijk, one of the best headers of the ball. He heads it into the goal of Arsenal, and Ramsdale pulls up a very nice save in there for you. And things gone on like that. In the first half, we won't really come out and talk to you about the attacks in there. What was so much into the first half was Arsenal using a long ball in there to frustrate a side which goes by names of Liverpool, because Arsenal, Mikel Arteta came into this game knowing that Trent Alexander-Arnold and Robertson, the fullbacks of Liverpool, move a lot. So if at all they move a lot, what you have to do, you just have to go in and capitalize onto their mistake, and you really put long balls into those areas where you expect them not to have recovered from their long runs they've made. So that's what Arsenal really measured so much onto the second half. It had worked for them very well, but they failed really to have numbers, because each and every time Bukayo Saka had the ball, he never had numbers of Arsenal players behind him. You saw less Arsenal shots behind him in there. That is a man who goes by the names of Bukayo Saka. Even when Martinelli did it in the first half, he never had numbers in there for you. And the only time it paid off, it was when a long ball was really directed to a player who goes by the names of Martinelli. Martinelli headed it to Kian Tierney, and Kian Tierney brought into a very beautiful cross in there. But Joel Matip also came out and outnumbered the players of Arsenal that were into that midfield, because Arsenal players were too little into that 18-yard box area of Liverpool. They couldn't outnumber those of Liverpool. So that's why you saw that game plan fail. But if at all Arsenal had numbers each and every time that long ball was dropped by either Thomas Partey, Ben White, or Gabriel Magalhaes to either Bukayo Saka or Martinelli, it would have been a different case altogether, because each and every time Martinelli or Bukayo Saka got that long ball, they controlled it very well, but they found themselves into a forest of legs to an extent that they couldn't really execute out a pass to find an Arsenal player in there. So first half was so much into the midfield. It was all about the battle of the midfield. Even people like Kian Tierney failed people like Sadio Mane to play the game of football. They failed them to play the game of football in the first half. Even when Luis Diaz crossed to that side of Kian Tierney, nothing happened. And when you look at what Liverpool is so much used at, they use that wing play so much. And they very much utilize service from their fullbacks in there. And in the first half, Arsenal outsmarted a team which goes by names of Liverpool, because they never even allowed them to bring in crosses. All the crosses that were brought in, they are defended very well by Gabriel Magalhaes and Ben White in there. Lots of things to talk about the first half because I noted lots of things down in here as this game really started in there. Arsenal really had a very quick passing, by the way. They really put up passes together because they know the best way to beat the press of a team which goes by the names of Liverpool is to go in and really do the quick passing. 1-2s were so much good for Arsenal. The way Thomas Partey and Granit Xhaka controlled that midfield area, it really looked great in there, and Liverpool resorted to doing some deep passes in there. So Arsenal played very well the first half in there. They really played very well. I really believe that every player, no player was outstanding in Arsenal when it came to the first half. Even Martinelli, whom I'm going to use as my man of the match, who came out and was reselected in the second half, was not one of the best players during the first half. Arsenal really had a team effort, and if I'm to reward anything towards Arsenal in first half, I reward the entire team. There is no individual that really had a very brilliant performance in there into the first half. When you look at the Liverpool press, Arsenal really tried to overcome it, but Liverpool are the masters of their own press because the engine in the midfield of Fabinho is really magnificent. It looked like Arsenal were just throwing that ball and it was really not bouncing off a wall to get back to them in there. That's what Fabinho gave a team which goes by the names of Liverpool, because he controlled that midfield very well. When you looked at the likes of Thomas Partey, they never crossed past the center and had possession. No way. The only possession they had was when they were near the arc, the 18 yards back arc of a team which goes by names of Arsenal. That's where they had possession. But cross the center, Fabinho and Jordan Henderson plus Thiago Silva really told Arsenal, you aren't going to pass here. That's why Arsenal resorted to long balls in there, because Fabinho really stopped every attack that was being planned by Arsenal through the midfield in there. So in the 14th minute, a long ball was brought in by Gabriel Magalhaes to find Martinelli Gabriel. Gabriel cuts inside and he really crosses that ball into, because of the lack of numbers, into the 18 yards box area of Liverpool, and Joel Matip really cleared that ball. So I really remember that moment very well because I noted it in here. And by the way, in the second half, because of Arsenal was using so much long balls, Alisson had to come out more often to really do the sweeper role, because he's a sweeper goalkeeper, and that's the importance of a sweeper goalkeeper, because his game reading was so much superb and he read those long balls in there very well in there. But what came to into the second half, because the first half looked like it was a balanced game. That's why it ended 0-0. No team edged one another. Liverpool never created a clear-cut chance. Arsenal never created a clear-cut chance, and nothing was to be talked about during that half in there for you, which went by the names of the first half in there. But let's get to the second half, where it really got ugly for a team which goes by names of Arsenal, because things turned around and Liverpool changed the way they were playing things in there. Diego Jota proving to Arsenal that he really enjoys playing at a side which goes by names of Emirates. The other time, he's the man responsible for knocking them out of the Carabao Cup semi-final. He came out and scored a brace. You remember that very well. When the likes of Mohamed Salah were into the African Cup of Nations, Arsenal really saw itself get a red card from the returnee. That is, Thomas Partey had just returned from the African Cup of Nations. He really saw himself get a red card into that game. So Diego Jota bossing them again, opening up the score into the 51st minute, isn't it? I really believe it was the 54th minute. That's when he really gave Liverpool a lead in there. That is a man who goes by the names of Diego Jota. Very much composed. He had a good shot on him, and it was a poor defending. It was poor goalkeeping from the Arsenal goalkeeper, who goes by names of Aaron Ramsdale in there. But before all that, no sooner had the second half started than a man who goes by the names of Thiago Alcantara saw out a pass to Sadio Mane. Sadio Mane netted into, but he was really flagged offside. It shows you how much as Liverpool had come and they had changed their game plan in there during the first half, because a man who goes by the names of Sadio Mane put that ball at the back of the net and it was flagged offside in there for you. Let me show you that offside and how it was. I really have some photos courtesy of Sky Sports in here, I really have some, so I really feel like I can come in here and show you all what the second half was all about. So that is the second half in there for you. A pass was thrown through to find a player who goes by the names of Sadio Mane, but he was miles offside. As you see that photo, he was miles offside. That is Sadio Mane in there for you. He was miles offside, and he was really pulled to a sword, and the goal was really cancelled by the referee in there, and VAR never needed even to intervene because it was a clear offside in there for you. Now that was around the 48th minute in there for you. Now 5-6 minutes later, this is what happens. 5-6 minutes later, this is what happens. A pass is thrown to a man who goes by names of Diogo Jota, and Diogo Jota never insisted to really see to it that he carries that ball more further. He just went for the shot, as you see it there. He just went for a shot, and it went into the back of the net. It was a poor goalkeeping from Aaron Ramsdale. That's what I've told you, that Aaron Ramsdale and Bukayo Saka have costed Arsenal this game. Look at that space. Why would Aaron Ramsdale leave such space from the goal post? A man who has an eye for goal like Diogo Jota, you've just made his job easy. So Ramsdale made the job of Diogo Jota easy by leaving that space from the goal. You see, it's too wide. You see, even you are just a foot away from that goal post, a brilliant striker can really get you a hard shot onto that pole or near post, and it goes into the back of the net. And that's what Aaron Ramsdale did, and the ball went into the back of the net, and Liverpool went into jubilation, and they celebrated, and the fans of Arsenal really thought that it would have been something better. Ben White tried to dive in or slide into, but he couldn't stop that shot, and it was really a heavy one from Diogo Jota, and it gave Liverpool the lead in there for you. But one thing I really want to know, one thing I want you guys to know about this goal, it is simple. There is a hero that is not being celebrated. Sadio Mane is the unsung hero for this goal, because Thiago Alcantara gets this ball. When he gets the ball, Mane, who was perpendicular, who was parallel to Thiago Alcantara, makes a run inside the back of Arsenal, and he moves out one of the players, that is, I think, Ben White. He moves out, and when he moves him out, he creates space for Thiago Alcantara to pass in that ball, and that's what Thiago really did eventually. And that ball finds Diogo Jota, and Diogo Jota hits it at the back of the net, something that really looked great, and brilliant play from a man who goes by the names of Sadio Mane. Because most of you wouldn't have realized that, but if at all you go and watch that replay very well, it's a man who goes by the names of Sadio Mane, who makes that run, and that pass is being played in there very well by a man who goes by the names of Alcantara, and Diogo Jota gets that in there. After Diogo Jota scored that goal, they took him off, and they brought in Firmino and Mohamed Salah. And I really felt like they had added salt to an insult, because it was like Jurgen Klopp wanted to get a hammer to kill a mosquito. Because I don't believe that after Arsenal going behind by one goal, then you bring in Mohamed Salah and Firmino. I really thought that however much he had planned to make those substitutions because the game was still level. But when that goal came in, I thought that was going to change his mind, but he never changed his mind. He said, no, I'm going all out for this team. I'm bringing in Salah and Firmino. They came on through, and 8 minutes later, Firmino gets the ball into the back of the net from a well brought in cross by a man who goes by the names of Robertson in there, that left fullback of a team which goes by the names of Liverpool. So when you look at that goal, that is the flick made by Firmino, and the ball went to the back of the net. I think you see it very well. But that goal was contributed, all costed Arsenal, by a player who goes by the names of Bukayo Saka, because Bukayo Saka made a very bad clearance, and after making a very bad clearance, Robertson, one of the best crossers of the ball, gets it. He crosses it, and he finds Roberto Firmino, and Roberto Firmino flicks it into the back of the net to make it 2. 8 minutes after Arsenal had conceded. In there, you see it in the 62nd minute. That's when it was really counted, and it was 2 for a team which goes by the names of Liverpool. And when it reached that level, I really thought that the game was not yet done because Arsenal were home, left with close to 28 minutes. I really thought that Arsenal could have put up a fight, and they had indeed improvised to get something out of it. But before all of those goals came in, Arsenal really had a very brilliant chance to go ahead, and this is it. That is it. You see, to reach that situation, Thiago Alcantara makes a back pass. When he makes a back pass, it finds Lacazette. Lacazette faces the goalkeeper. Alisson closes him very, very, very well. After him closing him very well, he plays into Odegaard, and Odegaard tries to shoot at the back of the net, but Alisson again makes a very big save in there. So that was the chance of Arsenal really into the 50th minute. Remember, Liverpool scored in the 54th minute, but in the 50th minute, Arsenal had the chance to go ahead, and that's what could really happen. But a man who goes by the names of Odegaard missed out on such a chance to really put Arsenal ahead. And if at all he had put Arsenal ahead, it would have been a different game altogether, because I really believe that things wouldn't have gone as they went, because Liverpool would have been on more pressure. They would have opened up a lot, and Arsenal would have really done a lot, because Martinelli in the second half really came up and showed us that, oh, I am the real kid on the block at Arsenal. No one really levels, no one is like me, because he came on, he played better than any other player. Martin Odegaard having a very bad day. I don't know what really was onto his mind, because he really didn't appear today. Martin Odegaard, for real, he didn't represent, and I really felt like, oh my God, this is not the Odegaard I've always known, because I've always knew, because he has always put up fantastic performances. Even the chance he got to beat the goal of Liverpool, he couldn't. The save was pulled up by Alisson in there, and he was taken off immediately, and they brought on Emily Smith-Rowe. Emily Smith-Rowe came on and played. I never really saw him onto the ball a lot, apart from him running around like a headless chicken. I never saw him run. I never saw him on the ball a lot. The same applies to Nicola Pepe, trying to make himself busy, because that's what he does most onto the pitch, nothing else. Nicola Pepe, that's what he does on the pitch. He just keeps himself busy, and I really believe that he is going to be sold by Arsenal in the summer. I really believe that Mikel Arteta needs a far much better player than him, because when you look at the difference of this game is the bench. Who do you have on the bench? Arsenal have a very good starting 11, but when you look, if at all that starting 11 fails to really come up and make ends meet, what do Arsenal have? They have nothing, because today it was evident that Arsenal's bench is sick. Who could Arsenal take off the bench to come up and threaten the Liverpool side? No, Nketiah. If at all Lacazette has failed, can Nketiah come up and take on Joel Matip and Virgil van Dijk? No. You get? If at all Bukayo Saka fails, do you bring in Nicola Pepe? It shows you that Arsenal really deserves to bring in players that are really going to come up and match the standards of those that really start in, because you expect a bench to be more likely to come in and do the needful. That's why I really come out and tell people that there are really very big questions on the top four, on the fourth place, because when you look at Arsenal and its first 11, they are good. But if at all a team squeezes down them, what are they going to do? Emily Smith-Rowe coming off the bench, he didn't perform very well, and that shows you that the squad depth of Arsenal is costing them game in, game out, because I really believe that if Arsenal really had a very superior bench, they would have got a result into this game, because Liverpool respected them a lot. Liverpool just sat themselves back and they say that we are going to capitalize on the chances we get. When you look at all the chances that Liverpool got, the only clear chance that they got was a corner that Virgil van Dijk headed and Ramsdale gave it a save. But when you look at the goal of Diogo Jota, it's a goalkeeping error. And if at all Aaron Ramsdale had really stood well onto his goal, he would have saved it. You look, that is the space Aaron Ramsdale left between him and the goal post. That means if at all he would have really stood well, the game would have been 0-0 up to that period of time. Then in the second goal that was scored by Roberto Firmino, that one, it was a ball that was cleared badly by Bukayo Saka, and he failed to track back to find or to make Robertson uncomfortable, to make that cross, because Robertson brought in that cross when he had no Arsenal player marking him. Before he even crossed that ball, he had to first raise his eyes to look where he was going to pass that ball, because Bukayo Saka, who had really failed to clear that ball very well, didn't even run back. He didn't even run back. You get? So all of those 2 goals announced the brilliancy of Liverpool, because the first goal, Ramsdale would have saved it, but he really made a very big blunder and that ball went to the back of the net. The second one, a player who goes by the names of Bukayo Saka failed to track that ball, that run that was made by Robertson after he really failed to clear the ball very well. So there is nothing special that Liverpool did. Liverpool just made sure that any mistake Arsenal makes, we are going to capitalize on it, and that's what Liverpool did. And Arsenal had some mistakes they really caught Liverpool off guard, and Arsenal failed to really come up and capitalize on them. That's the problem. That's the difference of this game, that the mind at which Arsenal were playing at the level, they couldn't really know that when you get a single chance like this, you have to capitalize on it. Look at that chance. Look at that chance. Odegaard getting it, and he really fails to score that goal. Secondly, there is this chance of Gabriel Martinelli. He passes through those players, he lays that ball inside the 18-yard box area, and no one really comes to a rescue or to a help of a player who goes by the names of Gabriel Martinelli's cross. You get? There is another chance that he got really, and he really tried to lay it into the lower bottom corner, and he couldn't really find that on target. But all in all, Arsenal really costed themselves this game, because Liverpool never did a lot. Liverpool never did a lot to win this game. They never ran a lot. Mohamed Salah never needed to do a lot, because Arsenal had closed them very well. You get? But the individual mistakes that were made, especially that mistake by the best Arsenal player in goal, who goes by the names of Aaron Ramsdale, really costed Arsenal a lot. It costed Arsenal a lot, because there is a person who really makes a mistake in your team and really demoralizes the entire team. That mistake that Ramsdale made put Arsenal down. Their morale went down because they expected him. He's the last person they expect to do a mistake at Arsenal, because all the clean sheets that Arsenal have kept, the 12 clean sheets Arsenal have kept this season, are courtesy of that man. He has really been good, and that's why the manager of Leicester City, Brandon Rodgers, came out and said that he's the best goalkeeper in the Premier League, because he really denied a player of Leicester City a header to go into the back of the net to put that game level. You get? He denied him. He has done lots of saves, and he's not that kind of player. You expect him to come in such a game and really do such a mistake. And he costed Arsenal, and Arsenal have been beaten by 2 goals to nil in there. Now, when you look at the Premier League table, Arsenal are placed 4th still, 51 points. 52 points, I think 51 points. They are a point ahead of Manchester United with still 2 games in hand to play. And Arsenal are really playing Aston Villa on the weekend, and United is not going to play, because United were supposed to play against Liverpool, and that game was postponed because Liverpool is into the FA Cup. Now, what does that mean? We saw in the game of Man City, where Arsenal was beaten by 2 goals to 1, Arsenal had really gone on a good run of 5 games. They had really won 5 games, and they had gone 5 games without being beaten. And when they really came after a team which goes by names of Man City, and it beat them by 2 goals to 1, Arsenal went away at Nottingham and they lost. They drew with Burnley, you get? And I think they got 3 results that were not all that good. And when you look at the games Arsenal are really going to play, Arsenal is playing Aston Villa, and they are going about Aston Villa. Is Arsenal going to raise to the level we expect it to be? Or they are really going to do what they did when they really lost to Man City? Because when they lost to Man City, they went ahead to lose close to 3 or 4 games. I remember they drew with Burnley, they lost to Nottingham Forest, they drew with Liverpool, and they lost to Liverpool at Emirates. 4 games consecutively. Arsenal couldn't win any of those. What is Arsenal going to do? Because what matters most is not this result that Arsenal has gotten, because most of the people thought that Arsenal could put up a fight, but I was not among those. I really thought that Liverpool was so much better than Arsenal, especially when you look at the player-to-player. Arsenal have really done a lot. They've done a lot into this game. And it might find like I'm really coming here and jinxing Arsenal. I'm not jinxing the team, but I'm really trying to let you know that they really tried their level best in there to do that. I'm having a Joy Godfrey. Arsenal players played very well. Just some minor errors which cost for them. Yeah, and that's what differentiates between good players and good teams. You get? That shows you the reason as to why Liverpool is competing for the trophy and Arsenal is competing for the 4th position. Arsenal players played very well, they put up their best, and I really liked the way they really managed that game. They managed it very well. Even after Liverpool coming out and really putting 2 ahead of Arsenal, Arsenal said, we are playing for the respect of our team. They never put the guard down like Manchester United. Remember Manchester United? They put the guard down and the game ended 5-0. You get? Arsenal never wanted to be humiliated. They said, all right, let's manage this game, because they managed this game from the word go. You get? It was Arsenal laying the pace at which Liverpool was supposed to be playing on. Each and every time Liverpool tried to increase the pace and tried to run them down, Thomas Partey and Granit Xhaka said, no, that's not how we're supposed to play this game. We are supposed to be composed and really playing this game at our level in there, not at your level. You get? So Arsenal played very well, and I really want to come out and congratulate Arsenal, because I really feel like there is something that Mikel Arteta is building around Arsenal that is going to get ripen next season. And next season, Arsenal is really going to be one of the teams to beat in there. And don't be surprised if next season Arsenal goes in to compete for the trophy, because they are just 4 players, 3 players, 4 players away from coming in there. And when you look at how they make their purchases, look at Martin Odegaard. He's £30 million. Aaron Ramsdale, £20 million. You get? Only Ben White is 50. You get? So that means Arsenal can get £100 million and get in close to 4 good players. They can get in players at £30 million, 3 players at £30 million who are good and are really going to come in and really give Arsenal what they want. And they can get in a £10 million player who is really promising from any league. They got Tomiyasu at 16, and Tomiyasu is one of the better right backs in the Premier League. So to me, I really believe that this result does not matter to Arsenal. What makes this result matter is the result Arsenal are really going to get via the weekend when they're playing Aston Villa. That's what is going to matter most. And that's where Arsenal fans and players should know that their result against Aston Villa is going to matter a lot, because losing against Liverpool is not a big talk. It's not a big talk right now, because everyone thought this result was going to come out like this. And Arsenal has really come out and played very well. But to make this result irrelevant, Arsenal have to go and beat Aston Villa over the weekend. Because when they beat Aston Villa, they would have stretched themselves to 4 points ahead of Manchester United. That's what Arsenal would have done. It would be something brilliant. You get? And so I really feel like it's something great that Arsenal have done today, and I really believe Arsenal has really done something good that most of the people won't see. But I really believe that the project of Mikel Arteta is really great, and I really love it. How much I support Manchester United, but I really love it because it's something that we're missing at Manchester United. We need a manager like Arteta to be given the authority that I want such and such a player to get out, and he's being chased out immediately. Not the board saying, no, that player is not leaving this team in there. You get? So it's really something that we are missing out at a team which goes by the names of Arsenal at Manchester United in there. But when you look at Thiago, I'm bringing reactions of certain players in there. Thiago of Liverpool says, we need to stay hungry. Said, we were wishing Manchester City dropped points, and they did. The gap now is 1 point, but we are just looking forward to the Nottingham Forest game and nothing else. We just try to win each game we have. We have to analyze this game to go through the things we did wrong and right, then looking forward. That is the key to stay away hungry in there. So that's what he says in there, that we just have to stay hungry in there to get out onto these results in there. But all in all, I would like to congratulate a team which goes by names of Arsenal, because they've put up a fight, and that fight has been really seen. And I don't think when United goes away at Anfield, let's not even talk about that game. Let's talk about the game that happened at Old Trafford. When Liverpool went at Old Trafford, they really beat United 5-0, and Manchester United never put up a fight or a resistance on a side which goes by names of Liverpool. Never. It shows you how organized a team which goes by names of Arsenal is. Their organization is way far much better into there than Manchester United. And Arsenal really have the 4th place into their hands, and it's up to them to bottle it. It's up to Arsenal to come up and bottle this. If they really keep up the spirit, they're really going to go into the Champions League. And I say this authoritatively. However much I support Manchester United, but Manchester United doesn't deserve to go into the Champions League. They don't deserve. We don't deserve to be there. Arsenal have put up a fight. I really believe that the fourth spot is supposed to be belonging to a side which goes by the names of Arsenal. No side has really played better than a side which goes by the names of Arsenal to deserve that fourth spot in there. When you look at their consistency, they're having 16 wins in there. They've scored 43 goals. They've conceded 31. They've kept close to 12 clean sheets this season. What a season for a team which goes by the names of Arsenal. Let's get straight into the stats of this game. Arsenal had 9 shots and Liverpool had 9. Both had 9 shots. 2 shots on target for Arsenal and 3 shots on target for Liverpool. It shows you the difference in there. That Arsenal had 2 shots on target, but they couldn't really make one to go in goal. Liverpool had 3. One was saved by Ramsdale. That was a well-directed header from a corner brought in by Alexander-Arnold into the back of into the goal of Arsenal by Virgil van Dijk. The 2 shots that Liverpool put onto the goal of Arsenal went inside. It shows you that Arsenal was really weak in really converting its 2 chances they got on target. Possession, 48% for Arsenal, 52% for Liverpool, 4% difference. 502 passes were put up by Arsenal, 518 were put up by Liverpool. That's what I tell you, that these 2 teams had matched one another, but Arsenal's failing to score the obvious goal that Odegaard needed to score really brought this result to this level, and Aaron Ramsdale's mistake, that howler of Aaron Ramsdale, really saw Arsenal lose this game. Passing accuracy, Arsenal had 80%, Liverpool had 82%. Fouls, both teams had 9 fouls. Yellow cards, Arsenal had 0 yellow cards. What a discipline of the highest order. Into a game when you're playing a team that has players better than you and you don't really concede a yellow card, that means Arsenal maintained this game very well. And Liverpool conceded 1 yellow card. 0 red cards, 4 offsides for Arsenal, 2 offsides for Liverpool, 1 corner for Arsenal, and 6 corners for a side which goes by names of Liverpool in there. Liverpool is at 69 points, and a team which goes by names of Man City is at 70, and they have played equal games, though a team which goes by the names of Liverpool has a goal difference of 55 and Man City has a goal difference of 50, because Liverpool has scored 75 goals and Man City have scored 68 goals. Man City have conceded 2 goals less than Liverpool, and Liverpool have scored 7 goals. They've scored 7 goals more than Man City to put them into that position in there. I'm trying to look for what Mikel Arteta has said into the post-press conference in there, because I really want to see his reaction to his game, because I really feel like he is really doing the best out of this in there. Let me say FFC, smash the like button, comment and share, and if at all, you can even tell me your man of the match, if at all you support Arsenal or Liverpool any, because I really know, I really have my man of the match for each team. I really have. And Gabriel Martinelli's game by numbers, he had 100% take on successes, 6 touches in the box, 6 possessions won, 4 passes into the opposite box, 4 duels won, 3 take-ons complete, 2 clearances, 2 crosses, 1 chance created, and 1 shot. My God, something that had even forgot to talk about Gabriel Martinelli is that he really made Trent Alexander-Arnold his puppet. Each and every time he felt like, I want to go past you, he really had to go past him. And that's a man who goes by the names of Gabriel Martinelli. He's really a very good player. I really like him, and I know most of you like it, because they are players that are really great. His form today forced Gary Neville to go on and say he's got Alexander-Arnold on toast. When he runs at him, he's got a bit of Perez about him. So what he's saying about Perez, Roberto Perez was one of those Arsenal players that played into the early 2000s in there. He was into that team of Patrick Vieira, Sylvain Viltord, Thierry Henry, Gilberto Silva, Ashley Cole, that dream team of Arsenal that really did the invincible. They finished the entire season without being beaten in there, so they went for unbeaten run in there. So I really feel like Arsenal has really lost this, but all in all, we have seen a good Arsenal side and promising. So I conclude this video telling you that one thing that is really going to make this result paying Arsenal fans is when Arsenal goes ahead to lose to a side or draw to a side which goes by the names of Aston Villa. Remember, Arsenal is playing Aston Villa on the weekend. But if at all Arsenal goes ahead to win that game of Aston Villa, this result won't matter. It won't matter at all. That's what I really know about this result. And smash the like button and go into the comment section and tell me what you think about this result of Arsenal versus Liverpool. Liverpool have won by 2-0 and they are now a point behind a team which goes by the Man City. Where do you fall? Which team do you support? This is the Rokani Media Football. Smash the like button, comment and share. And if at all you are really watching us for the very first time, endeavor to go into the lower right bottom corner, smash the like button and click the subscription button, then click the notification bell that will enable you get notified each and every time we are live. I'm out for now. See you later.